A piano teacher who breaks every rule with her own student. A grieving widow falling for the teenage stranger who saves her life. A teacher who builds her ex-student's entire career around forbidden feelings. These 5 age gap love stories don't just bend the line, they erase it. And trust me, the film sitting at number 1 is one of the most acclaimed, most disturbing romances ever put on screen. Today, 5 romances that ignore the age gap completely, ranked from good to absolutely jaw-dropping. Let's get into it. She graded his love life with a red pen and then slept with him on her own desk. That's number 5, The English Teacher from 2013, holding a 5.8 on IMDb. Julianne Moore plays Linda Sinclair, a lonely 45-year-old high school English teacher who reconnects with Jason, a former star student who's come home after failing as a New York playwright. Linda becomes so obsessed with reviving his dream that she pushes the school to stage his play and pushes their relationship somewhere very inappropriate along the way. Critics called it cute, bordering on cloying, and audiences were split right down the middle. But Moore's performance is the reason this one still gets talked about, even over a decade later. Greg Kinnear plays Jason's disapproving father, and Nathan Lane is the drama teacher caught in the middle of the chaos that follows. It's messy, awkward, and a little too believable. An 18-year-old's first summer job turned into his first real heartbreak, courtesy of his 36-year-old boss. Number 4 is Boy, also known by its original Danish title, Drang, released in 2011 and sitting at a 6.0 on IMDb. Fresh out of high school, Christian takes a summer job and falls hard for Sane, a single mother nearly twice his age, who seduces him without much hesitation. What starts as a confident, secretive fling quickly turns into something far more emotional than either of them expected, forcing Christian to grow up faster than he's ready for. This isn't a flashy, dramatic affair, it's quiet, realistic, and occasionally uncomfortable in how believable it feels. One quick note for anyone searching this up, don't confuse it with the unrelated New Zealand film of the same name from the year before. This one's a Danish coming-of-age drama, and it's worth tracking down. She fell for a college applicant who looked, sounded, and painted exactly like her dead teenage boyfriend. Coming in at number 3, P.S. from 2004, holding a 6.1 on IMDb. Laura Linney plays Louise Harrington, a divorced Columbia University admissions officer who's stunned when an application lands on her desk from a young artist sharing the exact name of her high school sweetheart, who died decades earlier. When Topher Grace's character shows up for his interview looking like a spitting image of that lost love, Louise can't resist crossing every professional line to get close to him. It's part romance, part ghost story, and part midlife crisis, and critics were genuinely torn on whether that mix worked. Roger Ebert gave it a favorable review, comparing it to that same year's Birth for how it forces you to watch an age gap attraction through 2 completely different lenses at once. Either way, Linney's performance is the reason this one's still worth a watch over 20 years later. A widowed mother and the feral 17-year-old stranger who saves her family, trapped together in an abandoned house surrounded by Nazi-occupied France. That's the setup for Strayed, also known as Les Égarés, sitting at number 2 with a 6.5 on IMDb. Emmanuel Biart plays Odile, a schoolteacher who loses everything when German planes bomb the road she's using to flee Paris in 1940. A mysterious, shaven-headed teenager named Yvonne leads her and her 2 children to safety, and as the days pass in isolation, survival instinct slowly turns into something far more charged between them. Director André Téchiné premiered this one at Cannes, and critics praised it as understated but genuinely compelling, even while admitting the central relationship is deliberately, uncomfortably ambiguous. It's tense, it's quietly erotic, and it never lets you forget that the real danger isn't just the war outside the door. A piano professor's obsession with her own student is so disturbing that critics still call it one of the most uncomfortable films ever made, and it's our highest list by far. Topping the countdown at number 1, The Piano Teacher, originally titled Le Pianiste from 2001, holding an outstanding 7.5 on IMDb. Isabelle Huppert plays Erika Kohut, a repressed, demanding piano teacher at a Vienna conservatory who lives a secret double life of self-harm and voyeurism behind her icy, controlled exterior. When her student Walter pursues her romantically, Erika doesn't just let him in, she hands him a list of sadomasochistic demands that completely upends the power dynamic between teacher and student. This isn't a gentle age gap romance, it's a psychological thriller about control, repression, and desire taken to genuinely shocking extremes. The film won the Grand Prix at Cannes, and both Huppert and her co-star won the festival's acting awards. If you've made it this far,